Lita here at LinaLita Farm, and as you can see, we have added 2 new members to the family, our sheep, and they're beautiful sheep, aren't they? So beautiful, and they've really kind of taken to the farm right away and are in the process of adapting and particularly getting used to both Lina and I. They're hanging out here in an enclosed area next to the new greenhouse, tropical greenhouse that we just built. And you can see a bunch of PVC pipe that's still strewn around there from the demolition of the hoop house. We're planning on using some of that PVC to make a kind of a makeshift shelter for them so that if it rains, this isn't the rainy season yet, but if it rains, they'll have a place to go where it's dry. Now these are hair sheep, meaning that they don't make a coat of wool that needs to be sheared. And in Nicaragua, we have 3 primary types of hair sheep here. There might be a few others, but there's Katahdin, which is the breed of our sheep. There's Dorper, and there's Pelibue. And the Katahdin were developed by Michael Piel. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his last name right. His last name in Spanish would be pronounced Piel. So that's how I'm pronouncing it. He developed them in Maine in the USA. And what he did was he took a well-known sheep breed from St. Croix in the Virgin Islands and crossbred them with some larger breeds of wool sheep, particularly the Suffolk breed from Britain, and wound up with the Katahdin breed that has some very good qualities. That's Orion there crying out in the background. The dogs, by and large, have had, yeah, there he is right there. As I said, the dogs have had a mixed reaction to the sheep. On the one hand, they see them as trespassers, and they're not too happy about that. There's Gray, and Oyama will come up here in just a minute. There she is. On the other hand, they seem confused and fascinated by the sheep. So they spend a lot of time over here trying to get their attention and what have you. So it's very interesting. But for the most part, they've behaved pretty well. I've been kind of surprised. Now, some of you may recognize the St. Croix breed from Greg Judy's YouTube channel. He advocates very strongly for the St. Croix sheep. They're resistant to parasites, and that's their big claim to fame. But they're a smaller sheep, and so Piel wanted to get that pesticide resistance, but also have a larger sheep, and so that's what he did. One of the great things about the Katahdin breed is that they're very low maintenance. The ewes, or the females, have an exceptional mothering ability, and they usually have twins. They lamb very easily. The lambs are born vigorous and alert. They have a docile temperament, and they weigh between 120 and 160 pounds. Now we have 2 ewes, 2 females. Both of them are pregnant, and we've already named them. We named them after characters from the book Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Catherine is the smaller of the 2 and the younger of the 2. She's about a year, a little bit more than a year. We call her Catty. And Ellen, who's the larger one, is about 2.5 years old. Both are pregnant. They were both impregnated by the same male, and they were impregnated by another breed of hair sheep called Dorper. Now, Dorper is a South African breed of sheep. They're smaller, about 110 pounds. They're known for their black head and white body. They're a very heat-tolerant sheep, so that's good characteristic to have here in the tropics. They thrive in arid climates, which of course we have a dry season here that is very arid. And they also have a certain degree of parasite resistance. The third type of hair sheep, just for your own information, is Pelibue. which we don't have. Ours are not Peliway. We'd like to get some eventually, but they are a Cuban breed, originally from Cuba. They're a smaller sheep, 90 to 110 pounds, something like that. And they have a certain degree of parasite resistance as well. But as Greg Judy will tell you, the best parasite strategy for your sheep is to keep them moving. Keep moving them. What causes the parasites is that they stay in one place for too long, and it gives a chance for the life cycle of the parasites to blossom, and you wind up with a large population of them, and suddenly your sheep wind up with parasites. So why did we choose sheep? Well, as I've said before, we're autistic. We love animals, and we have very close connection with animals. And it's possible to have a very close relationship with sheep. They're very beautiful animals, and we're very happy that we have them. They're also very good for pasture management. So right now, I manage the pasture with my scythe, and I'd like to have a break, and the sheep can help me manage the pasture better. And then finally, and equally important, if not the most important, is to improve soil fertility on the farm. So I'm going to end with just a couple of interesting facts that people may or may not know about sheep. The first of these is that sheep have no upper front teeth. They have lower front teeth, but none in the upper. It's just a ridge of cartilage. And that actually helps them eat the grass. Helps them pull the grass and grab onto it. They do have upper and lower teeth in the back, and that's why when you see them grinding, going back and forth. They have a very strong peripheral vision. They can see almost 180 degrees. And if you look at the eyes of a sheep, their pupils are very spread out, and even the sockets of the eyes are pretty spread out on the head. And of course, they're a prey species, and for that they need to be able to have that kind of vision to know when predators are sneaking up on them. Most people think that hare breeds are something relatively new and that they were developed or bred from wool sheep. In other words, they bred the wool out of the hare sheep. Actually, the opposite is true. The ancestor of all modern sheep is called the mouflon. Mouflon. And that is a breed from a wild sheep from the Caspian Sea region around Turkey and part of Iran. And mouflon is a hare sheep. So actually, the wool sheep were actually bred from the hare sheep, not the reverse. And then finally, the final little interesting thing, something that I didn't know, is that sheep poop like rabbits. They poop little pellets. They're not like cows that make a big patty of poop. They poop a bunch of little pellets. So that was something that was news for me, and I didn't know about it, and it's interesting. So I'm going to leave it at that for today, and we'll pick it up in the next video.